Hey everyone, I'm Connor, this is Robin. Welcome to another Civ House video. Today we are talking underrated Antiquity Age Civilizations in Civ 7. So these are going to be civs that Rob and I feel like don't get near enough love. We feel like there's hidden value in, all that good stuff. Here to speculate, here to talk, here to discuss all that fun stuff. Programming update about Civ House before we move forward. We are so close to 1,000 subs, and there are so many of you watching that are not subscribed, so go subscribe, please. We just want to hit 1,000 so bad, so please help us. But yeah, Rob, we're talking underrated civs today. I'd be curious to hear what yours is, and we can just hop right into it. So who do you got for us for an underrated Antiquity Age Civ?
We're jumping in, and it's one that you guys have heard me talk about a lot on this channel. One that I loved the minute that I saw it. It's the Carthaginian Civ here in Antiquity.
Yep.
Look, I am such a Rome, Greece guy as well, right? Like Greco-Roman history has always been one of my favorite. I saw Carthage getting added again, which we've had it in Civ games, but even like its symbol and everything, like that's like the known Carthaginian symbol. And I just was like, I gotta play this one. Then I found out that it was basically Antiquity Venice, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm quite intrigued now. Look, I just think that it is so underrated in the sense that, like, I think people are too worried about the fact that you can only have one city. I know that a lot of people have found with the new patches and everything that, like, converting your towns, it used to be like a town meta. Now it's a, for sure, city meta, I would say. That being said, if you are playing a through, history playthrough, right? If you're getting to the modern age, there are still paths for you to go. And even if you decide, hey, maybe I'm not gonna go with that town build path, I'm gonna do city conversions, right? You can get so many more cities and everything set up on your home continent, and you can be in such a good spot before you head to exploration age. When you're creating the merchant, right? Like getting that legacy path, I think for militaristic, for economic, I don't know that there is really, and I think this is going to be controversial, but a better civ in antiquity to hit those, right? You're getting the naval abilities here with the shipwright, right? You're getting range to all your naval units so you can more easily control the water pathways around your home continent. You're getting the plus 15 sea trade route range with, which one is this? Wisdom of Tanit, which is crazy. You're getting the plus 3 gold in the capital for every trade route to the capital. So, for the most part, Carthage is going to be in a pretty good spot. You're also with the Sicilian Wars, getting that plus 2 settlement unit. You're getting the copies of those merchants, the copies of those colonists, which, by the way, colonists are pretty strong too. If you didn't know, you're getting the movement when you're on the sea. You're getting the extra citizen with those resources. I'm just checking to make sure that I'm not missing anything here. And even the unique building, you are getting all of that production from the coffin. There's just so many things that I think work really, really well. And you're going to have a lot of towns. You're going to have a lot of towns with different specialties. You have that updated one, trade town, right, where you're going to be getting that extra range with that as well. So, whether you're like me and you kind of just like to play the game, legacy, points and stuff are obviously important, but they're not necessarily always the thing that I strive for in a game. It just depends on how I'm playing. But if I'm really trying to hit, that economic path, that militaristic path, this Civ is just one of the best ways to do it. And when you get to that exploration age, you already have all those towns set up, Connor. So then if you go with something like Spain, right, you get all this gold and you're able to just smash cities, and just go forward in such a big way. I think if you're like me, if you like to be expansionist, if you like to trade, if you like to have a strong military, I didn't even talk about Numidian cavalry, even with the nerfs, they're still pretty strong. Then I think that this is the way to go. So that's my underrated civ. I love Carthage. I'm sure you probably feel the same way.
Yeah, I think to all the points you mentioned, this is really good. I think that, to your point about the economic side, I think that Carthage is really fun to play for that. I don't feel like they're as crazy on the military side, but for an economic civ, I feel like they're really, really underrated. Resource capacity is so important, and that is what the unique quarter gets you, which is great. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of Carthage as well. the towns thing is annoying. Frankly, for the Antiquity Age, it just feels like it can slow you down, or at least it reframes the way you play. But to your point, you just kind of hoard gold. You get ready for exploration, and then you're able to convert a lot of those things to cities. So I think you get a lot of your value from Carthage in later ages, which is hard to kind of translate to rating it now. But to your point, Rob, I think it is a great Civ. One that I haven't played as much. I've only probably played a couple games as Carthage. So, yeah, good pick. I'm going to go for one that we have rated very low on our tier list before. I made a point to play an Antiquity Age run through with it earlier, or earlier this month, I guess last month, and that's going to be Egypt. So, yeah, Egypt. I think we had Egypt like in D tier or something when we did our last, or maybe when we ranked Antiquity Age Civs. It was a while ago. So I made it a point to do a Jose Rizal playthrough with Egypt, where I just kind of wanted to culture bomb and see what I could do. So I'll kind of talk through Egypt. For those that don't know, you get +1 production on navigable rivers. You get production towards the pyramids. You get a Magi unique unit, which is basically a defensive, melee unit. You get a great person with a charge that can give you a whole bunch of different things. And then you get the Necropolis, which grants 100 gold when any wonder is completed. And its 2 components give you culture and gold and a little bit of happiness, basically. Then you unlock the Abbasid with them, which I think is the best Exploration Age Civ by a pretty large margin, which is actually why I picked Egypt. I was like, I think if I can just get through the Antiquity Age and get into exploration, I'll be really set up. And then Antiquity ended up going pretty good, with Jose Rizal exploring, focusing on culture. I was able to kind of blast through a lot of the civics that I needed to pretty quickly. I did go for the Egyptian civic tree because you unlock all the components of this unique quarter, which feel really good. And then you just spam wonders, and then you're getting gold, which is allowing you to do more. And all in all, again, I've been critical of Egypt in the past. I still think there are better culture options. If I had been playing with Greece or maybe even like Rome to an extent, I would feel maybe a little bit better. But I don't think Egypt is as bad as I had maybe pegged them to be previously, especially when you're playing a cultural leader that can get some of the benefits of that. And I could even see them leaning a little bit more economic, where you go fully into wonders, but purely to give you money, and to get more resources, all that good stuff. So yeah, I'm Egypt stonks. I'm not saying they're sky high, Rob, but I think they're maybe a little higher than I'd put them.
Yeah, I think Egypt is interesting because I think that it's a more complex playstyle than I think people want to, go through at different points. I think it is obviously, it's supposed to be the wonder builder, right? Which I think it can be good, right? Obviously, but I think it can also be really difficult, as I just don't know if there are enough wonders in Antiquity yet. I've seen that argument even recently on Reddit when I was looking up some stuff, as somebody was like, if they had a few more wonders in the game.
Yeah.
Or actually, I think somebody in our comment section said that when I did my 3 wonders from Antiquity that I'd like to have added back to the game. But, they made the point that there was just like, there need to be more. Because if you're trying to get, I believe it's 7, right, for culture. I think that's how many you need to get
maybe 6. Victory. Yeah,
might be 6, somewhere in that. It's somewhere between 5 and 7. Yeah. And like, even if you're getting all this production, right, if you're getting all of these things, like even the Jadi, right, like great person, unique unit, it's like those will help you if you get the right ones at the right times, all that kind of stuff. But it is, I think it's tough to commit to that in the way that the game is being played right now. That being said, I do think that, to your point, right, this whole video is about underrated.
Yeah.
This Civ is vastly underrated, right? Like, the more I've looked into it, I agree with you. I think that it can be very good. I think that you can scale it pretty well in Antiquity, and I don't think it's one that should be underestimated. Might be even a better way to put it for me personally. But it intrigues me more than it did before. I will put it that way.
That's fair. I think to kind of one last point about it is I think you have to rush the Necropolis if you're doing this. I think you've got to go for the unique quarter, which means you do sacrifice some of the Antiquity Age civic tree because you're just going to have to wait on it. So that means no, a delayed Pantheon. Like there are negatives that come along with this, but I think if you can get that and you can get wonders going, it's a massive gold stimulus. It's so many turns of gold if you can get this to go the right way. That can inject a lot into your empire. You can buy settlers with it or kind of play catch up in other ways with all that gold. So yeah, I'm not sure how many wonders I ended up with in my Jose Rizal playthrough. I think I ended up with like 6 or 5 or 6, which felt good. I don't know if I got all of them up after the Necropolis though is the thing. Like that's where that has to work. But in any case, those are our underrated civilizations in the Antiquity Age. There are a lot we could have talked about. Obviously we're not going to have Maya as being the most underrated, right? Because Maya is very good. But there are some, there's some other ones that I bet people have some thoughts about. So if you're in the comments and you're like, oh, I love the Oxum, but no one talks about them, or I love the Han, or I love the Khmer, or I love Greece, let us know about that in the comments. Let us know what your most underrated civ is. What is one that you've had success with in the Antiquity Age that you feel like no one talks about? That's really what we're after. And that's very reflective of Rob and I's kind of way we play Civ. There are certainly ways to min-max in this game on deity and go for these crazy yields. It's not typically the way I think either Rob or I play. So this is we like trying to squeeze out the value and find these unique ways to approach the game, all that. So as always, though, thank you all so much for tuning in. One final reminder to please go subscribe. We are so close to 1,000 subs. In just over 100 videos, this has been pretty fun, Rob. It's been cool to build up a community. We see the back-end stats, and we see that a lot of you are returning viewers. And so it's cool to just like have a community of Civ fans coming in and supporting the channel. It's very inspiring to us and makes us want to make more content for you all. So
yeah. And as a quick reminder as well, I'll come in, like we've got some stuff that we are planning for once we hit that 1,000 mark as well. So we are very excited to get there and excited for you guys to see kind of what we've got in store. So keep that in mind as well. If you're kind of flipping that coin, if you're debating on whether to subscribe.
It'll be worth your while. All right.
I think so.
But anyway, much love from us to you all. And thank you all so much for tuning in again. From our house to yours, we hope you'll join us for one more turn. We'll see you all next time.